I am Sasha Ayad. I am a therapist, and I am also a co-author of the new book, When Kids Say They're Trans, A Guide for Thoughtful Parents. And I'm really thrilled. Our books have arrived. I've gotten my hard copies in recently, and we're really proud of this book. We wrote this book for parents who want their gender questioning child to thrive, to be healthy, and a whole, well-rounded person, but don't believe that medical interventions and changing their identity is necessarily the best way to help them. I'm going to read an excerpt today from the chapter on how to row back after affirmation. Many parents have felt pressured by doctors, therapists, schools, or others to literally affirm their child's new gender identity, even though they feel as though it's not quite right or feel actually very skeptical that it's working. So in this chapter, we help parents to course correct if they find themselves in this situation. Acknowledge the utility of a trans identity. If affirmation has led to some improvements in mental health and stability, the identity has served an important need. We can imagine a life raft helping someone cross a river to arrive safely on the opposite shore. But it's not useful to drag the heavy life raft around on dry land. There comes a time when putting down the identity is the best way to move on. When discussing these concepts, it's helpful to use the third person, keeping the identity separate. For example, in the case of a son, Caleb, who identifies as Crystal, consider saying, "I see that for the last 6 months, being Crystal has really helped you in some ways. What do you think being Crystal has helped you to do differently?" Listen carefully for the ways the child has taken helpful actions and improved his life. Remember that he, as a person, is doing the hard work. You can say, "I see. So as Crystal, you've taken more risks socially and connected with new friends. I'm proud of you for doing that. Now seems like a good time to show that same bravery and strength as yourself, as Caleb." Similarly, in the case of a girl who adopted a trans identity after a traumatic situation, you can honor the protection and strength April might have derived from being Max. I can see that becoming Max has helped you feel safer and more protected in your body. Feeling safe is so important, especially after everything you've been through. I wonder if you can find different ways of feeling strong and protected, regardless of your gender identity. After all, wouldn't any girl who's been through that kind of trauma also deserve to feel safe in her body? We would hate for you to give up on April, or worse, take your anger out on her. You deserve compassion and time to heal as April, but it seems you've tried to throw her away and replace her with Max. Here it might be helpful to point out to your child that the traits of the opposite sex person they're cultivating are really just a part of them. We are all immensely complex. As Walt Whitman wrote, "I contain multitudes."